Jazakumullah khair. I sincerely thank you for taking it serious, trying to your best to know about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Before I start, I just want to refresh. How do you refresh on a laptop without a mouse and clicking on the refresh button? F5, right? So I just want to press F5, refresh. Why are we talking about this series? So we can get to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala better. And the more we know Him, the more we get to love Him. And when we love Him, obeying Him becomes easy. And when we obey Him, He becomes pleased with us, and that's the utmost goal we have. When He is pleased with us, inshallah, He will allow us to enter Jannah, inshallah. Is the one that took care of His creation by bringing them into existence and creating them, by guiding them, by controlling their affairs, and by providing for them. Another meaning for Allah's name, Al-Wakeel, is the one that takes care of His slaves bi-ihsan, with perfection. Allah will take care of you and all your matters and all your worries and concerns bi-ihsan, with perfection. So when you depend on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will not let you down. Allah will not disappoint you. Allah will not delegate it. Allah will not assign someone else to do it. Who knows the ad in the States? Very famous. If you go to the States, you must know it. 1-800-CALL-SAM. Raise your hand. Sah? This guy is a lawyer. How do you advertise for like a law firm all this much? He's a Jewish guy. Nothing against Jews, yani, but you know, they advertise a lot. They get so much money. So his number is 1-800-CALL-SAM. I'm like, how come he advertised so many times, and how can he handle the customers? Because he's very famous. So what they told me is that no. The way Sam works and his family is that they get the call. So let's say Nabil has an issue, a criminal issue. So then you call 1-800-SAM. 1-800-CALL-SAM. Sam answers and his homies. They tell you, what's your case? My case is 1, 2, 3. If the case has big money, Sam will take it. If it's not too much money, he will delegate it and give it to another lawyers. And he will take a commission. When you put trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will take your case and no one will be delegated to. Allah may assign someone under Allah's control. But Allah will not tell the angels, you take care of it, you take care of it. Allah will have absolute control and will never let go of you, assuming you trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala under one condition. Best one condition, that's it. One condition, that's it. Who knows? One condition, that's it. طبعا don't tell me you're going to be a Muslim and you're going to say أشهد أن لا إله إلا no. One condition. Have full trust, طيب, but the condition that you should do. Trust, خلاص, you left it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One condition. And Allah will accept you and He'll be your wakeel. One condition. Is that you do every single thing possible and then you put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then you say, tawakkaltu ala Allah. That's the condition, only condition. You have to do this condition for Allah to be your wakeel. So let's move on to another definition. Allah is al-wakeel, the one who lives with this name. What is He called? If I live with al-wakeel, I'll be called mutawakkil. Al-mutawakkil. And what does al-mutawakkil mean? Al-mutawakkil is the one that has full and firm belief. Full and firm belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that He is the one that in control of His things. And He is the one, Ar-Razzaq, that provides. And he will not trust anyone and depend on anyone except on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's al-mutawakkil. Full trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another beautiful definition, but you need to focus on this one. His name is Al-Jurjani, he defines it. Very great scholar. He says trust in Allah means you trust everything and you're so hopeful of whatever Allah has or whatever is with Allah, and you're absolutely hopeless with what the people have. This is mutawakkil. Absolute hopefulness with Allah and absolute hopelessness with what the people have. This is a mutawakkil. And did you know that one of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, one of his names is what? Al-Mutawakkil. That's one of his names. Where's hadith? In Sahih al-Bukhari. Who called him mutawakkil? Allah called him a mutawakkil. a man came to Amr ibn al-As, may Allah be pleased with him, and he told him, was Prophet Muhammad ever described in the Torah? He said, yes, wallahi, there are some characteristics which the Quran says about the Prophet and also in the Torah. Sahih al-Bukhari. And then he says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Ya ayyuhan nabiyyu inna arsalnaka shahidan wa mubashiran wa nadhira. We have sent you as a witness. Mubashir gives good news. Nadhira means warner. And then Allah continues, and then hadith continues, and he says, Anta abdi wa rasuli. Allah said, you're my slave and you're my messenger. Telling who? Rasulullah sallam. وَسَمَّيْتُكَ الْمُتَوَكِّلِ. Allah. And Allah says, and I called you, I named you al-mutawakkil. And you will not find anyone on earth that applies 100% means in addition to 100% belief in Allah as much as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And there's so many examples. So to recap the definition, and let's move on. What does putting 100% in means? In the meantime, having 100% trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is it. Divide yourself into two. Your heart and soul and your body. Your heart and soul is a firm belief that Allah is in control of everything. Clear? Everything. Your body will do everything in terms of means. So the example which I had for the ones that came late, I have the exam tomorrow, صح? For me to truly live with Al-Wakeel, divide myself to two. First, let me do the means. That's first. You do every single mean possible. And do you know that it is so disrespectful? Let me repeat that one more time. So disrespectful to do just a little bit and say tawakkaltu ala Allah. This is very disrespectful. In Islam, ask the scholars, ask ulama, absolute disrespect. How can you put your trust in Allah when you didn't even do your job yet? So for me to be respectful, my physical, I have to go to every class. I did. I have to sit in the front row. It's easy. I did. The last two classes, I recorded the lecture, got my phone, recorded it. I did. It's easy. Anyone can do that. So he did every possible means, صح? Now the other side is what? My heart. Now I say, Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakeel. I put my trust 100% in Allah. My heart has to not vibrate or get worried at one point. Full trust in Allah. You see it? So full trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the heart, and the action, and the body is moving. I'm doing everything I can. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, subhanAllah, it's very beautiful. When the people used to see him working and working and working, they're like, you don't have trust in Allah for how much he's working. On the other hand, sometimes, some other days they say, don't you work? You have so much trust in Allah. Can you combine both? You work so much that people think, man, you don't trust Allah. And the other hand, everything is messed up and earthquakes and people dying. I trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Can you combine both? That's al-mutawakkil. Is that clear? The easy part is doing the physical stuff. The hard part is having this heart fixed, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is under control. My brother-in-law in Michigan, Livonia, has two beautiful twins. One of them, I'm very honored, he called him Majed. So I love Majed so much because his name is Majed. This is mutual respect. So what happened is that he had to get a paper. I'm trying now to explain Al-Wakeel in the basic terms. Have you ever went to a lawyer and grabbed a person so you can give him some authority and control over the stuff which you own? If you're not, maybe one day you will do so. So we go to the lawyer, let's say myself, for example, and someone else, and the lawyer said, yes, how can I help you? I tell him I would like to give the power of attorney to my friend right here. He will ask you two questions. Do you want to give him general power of attorney or specific power of attorney? You tell him, explain please. He said, okay, general power of attorney, if you sign this paper that you fully entrust that person with general power of attorney, that means he has control over everything which you have. Your money, just the same way you have control over your car. If you sign it, he can sell the car instead of you, on your behalf. He can do this, he can do that. A specific power of attorney is that you give him power over something specific. So my brother-in-law did that with me. He said general or specific power of attorney. My brother-in-law said specific, obviously, right? Not everything. So specific power of attorney. What is it on? for Majed, me, to be able to drive the two twins, the young ones, his name is Malik and Majed, throughout the borders. That's the only control and authority and trust I will pass on to Majed. Get it? Is it clear? So general and specific. Going back to the example, you tell the guy, I want to give him general power of attorney. The lawyer will look at you one more time. He'll look at your eyes and he will tell you, are you sure? And you say, yes, I trust him. I trust him. He'll not let me down, 100%. So he said, okay, you want to sign? Like, let's go. Bismillah. And he said, Wakelt, I trust and I give authority to this person over everything which I have. And this happens. And maybe sometimes in your own family, by the way. Ask your parents. Maybe they know someone that did so. Where am I going with this? Are you willing to sign? Sign what, brother? General authority to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Are you willing to sign? Whenever you want to sign the authority to general authority or even specific, there are three requirements you focus on. Number one is that that person has to be very trustworthy. Is not a sellout. The other one is that person has to be so caring and loving and has the time for you. Number three is that that person has to have experience. So let's take an example of group work in your school. You got a group project, 6 people in a group, and then someone says, how about you let this guy join you and have some control over some parts of the project. You would say, oh heck no, man. This guy is a sellout. If he comes to my group, he sees another group doing so good, he will sell us and then go to the other group. No, I don't want him. I don't trust him. Then they bring you another guy, how about he joins your group? You got this science project. You're like, no, I trust him, sah. And he's loving and caring, but his experience, bro, he has a 56% average. 56% average. So then you're like, no. Then they give you the third person. They're like, how about this one? He's smart, I trust him, but this guy has no time. I'm telling you, Allah loves you, cares about you, has the time, and He is Al-Khabir, the experience. Are you willing to sign with Allah? So do you have some dreams? Obviously. Are you worried about your high school? Who needs this talk? By now you should obviously know, the parents. I know there's some parents, alhamdulillah, today. If you're worried about your children and their bad influence around them, if you're worried about how many friends they have on Facebook, if you're worried about your daughter, if this guy, that punk, is going to play with her feelings or not, are you worried? Yes. Are you doing everything you can? Yes. Are you still worried? Yes. You need Allah al-Wakeel to know. For the brothers and sisters, you're like, in high school, university, wallah, high school, I don't know which high school to go to, or which university to go to, Waterloo or University of Windsor, should I go back home? Tayyib, what about marriage, man? Marriage is so tough. Do you know the dowry these days? The average is like $10,000. I will never get married. You know what? Even if I get married, guess what happens? Rent. Find me an apartment for like $200 a month. Come on, find me. It's too difficult. I can't. Are you doing everything you can? Yes. Are you worried? Yes. You need to know Allah's name, Al-Wakeel. For the ones that want to do something for Islam. I got some sisters and brothers come and talk to me after this halaqah a few weeks back. Brothers and sisters. I want to do this, I want to do that, but I'm worried. You have the knowledge, you have the experience, a little bit that can benefit whatever you want to do? Yes. Are you worried? Yes. You need to know Allah's name, Al-Wakeel. There's no one sitting in this room except that they want to live with Allah's name, Al-Wakeel. I hope it's in your blood by now. You got to believe you need Allah Al-Wakeel in your life. Whenever you, and by the way, you know how this guy brought the agent or his friend with him to give him the signature? He's like, can you please come help me out? Allah is different. Allah is the one offering you. He's offering you. Do you want, if I become your wakeel, your power of attorney, do you mind? Allah is saying that. What's your proof, brother? Number one, Allah called Himself Al-Wakeel. Number two, in Surah Al-Muzammil, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَاتَّخِذْهُ, take him. Allah says, take me, choose me. Allah is offering Himself. Wallah, it's so disrespectful to avoid that. He's offering Himself, I'll take care of you. I have the time and I have the experience. So take it. And by the way, whenever you go in the Quran and you see Allah's name Al-Wakeel and its derivatives, you find something very interesting. Allah associates power and capability prior to that name or that derivative. Because Allah will show you His majesty. I'll give you examples. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, رَبُّ الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّهُ فَاتَّخِذْهُ وَكِيلًا. So Allah glorifies Himself. He is the Lord of the East, the Lord of the West. There's no deity worthy of worship except Allah. Look how great. فاتخذه وكيلا. فاتخذه. You have a problem further than the east? You have a problem further than the west? You have a problem not in either direction? No, you do. Then you need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Believe in your heart. Another verse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلِلَّهِ غَيْبُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. And Allah knows the unseen in the heavens and on the earth. Look at this glory. Look how much knowledge and experience. Al-Khabir. وَإِلَيْهِ يُرْجَعُ الْأَمْرُ كُلُّهُ. Everything returns back to Him. Allah's in control of everything. You see this? You see how we're building the ayah? And what's the message? فَاعْبُدْهُ وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَيْهِ. Worship Him and put your trust in Him, man. What is wrong with you guys? Verse after verse, put your trust in Allah. Allah saying, put your trust in Him. Put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't doubt, don't hesitate. Wallahi, after this, whenever a problem comes up to you, relax. Relax these muscles and cheeks and nervousness. Just know Allah al-Wakeel is there. You do your part and put Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakeel. Put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى الْحَيِّ. See, subhanAllah, half of you know it. Say, Allah, وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى الْحَيِّ الَّذِي لَا يَمُوتُ. Put your trust in the one that will never die. Put your trust in the one that will never die.